and happy new month to you. Thank you so much for joining. This is The Day. My name is Sarah Otieno. We are live on Family TV, also live on Family Radio. Use the WhatsApp number 0786 316 316 and talk to us. Also through the SMS line 20316. On Facebook and Twitter at Family Radio 316. And let us get talking. Well, today we look at some of the stories that are making headline, and we're starting off with the Teachers Service Commission that has announced a massive recruitment of 5,000 teachers to fill vacancies in both primary and secondary public schools. The commission, through an advertisement published on My Government Today, said the new posts will support 100% transition from primary to secondary schools. The interested and qualified candidates should submit their applications online through the Commission's website not later than the 14th of this month. And also, this comes just a day after the Education CS Professor George Magoha announced that reopening of schools would be expensive due to the supply of masks, which, according to him, will cost the government up to 1 billion shillings.
If we are going to open a little bit earlier, that shall not happen unless we can mask the children. So I think if there's any one point that Your Excellency should take from this reopening, or from this talk, is that we are prepared to get our children back to do exams. It depends on what I've told you. We are also prepared to reopen, depending on what I've told you. And we are also prepared to reclose if there is need to reclose. We have avoided this up to this time. If we are going to bite the bullets in about 3 weeks or so, then the money for the masks should be coming out now from everybody, from the governors, from the donors, and from the national government. But each child has 2 masks which are washable and which can last at least 6 months. Because if we are unable to provide social distancing, which is going to be a problem, then the children must be.
All right, that is what the CS for Education, Professor George Magoha, said yesterday concerning how the government is on a fix when it comes to reopening of schools. Now, contrary to that, we have the TSC that is announcing a massive recruitment of up to 5,000 teachers that are required to ensure a smooth transition. Well, do you think it's right for TSC to actually announce such vacancies at this time when we have the education calendar not very stable, and according to the CS, we are not even sure when schools will be reopening? And also, look at it this way. We have private school teachers that have not been getting their salaries. Also, teachers that have been employed privately by the schools and the board members in schools. Do you think it's a right decision for TSC to announce vacancies for up to 5,000 teachers during this time of uncertainty? So send in your responses and talk to us about that also through the SMS line 20316. WhatsApp number to use is 0786 316 316. Now let us look at the COVID-19 situation in our country. And today the Ministry of Health has announced 140 new cases in the last 24 hours. And this has resulted now to a total figure of 34,315. Well, this number was reached to after a sample of 1,682 were tested in those hours. The youngest is 1 year old and the oldest is 85. But there is some good news. Today, no deaths resulting from COVID-19 have been reported.
Confirmed positive cases. From the cases, all are Kenyans except one foreigner. 93 of them are male and 21 are female. The youngest is a 1-year-old infant. The oldest is 85. I am happy to inform you that today 318 patients have recovered from the disease. 263 of them have been released from home-based care program, and 55 have been discharged from various health facilities where they were receiving care. The total recoveries now stands at 20,211. And we want to thank our healthcare workers for their selfless devotion to duty that has enabled us to achieve these results. Today, I'm also delighted to inform you that we have not registered any deaths, and our fatality, therefore, remains at 577.
All right, that is good news when we have no people succumbing to the virus. But also the CAS, Dr. Rashid Aman, announced that tobacco smokers actually are at high risk of getting COVID-19.
COVID-19 is a severe acute respiratory disease. It follows then that those with already compromised respiratory systems are at much higher risk of unfavorable outcome if infected. Clearly, smokers fall into this category. And so today, we shall focus on tobacco and its ill effects on health. The world is facing a huge public health epidemic in the form of tobacco use. It is estimated that worldwide, about 1.3 billion people are tobacco users. Low and middle income countries, where 80% of tobacco users live, bear the heaviest toll of the tobacco-related illness and death. Half of chronic users of tobacco end up dying from its use. Each year, tobacco use causes more than 8 million deaths globally. 7 million of these are as a result of direct tobacco use, and over 1 million are as a result of non-smokers being exposed to second-hand tobacco smoke.
All right, there we have it. Remember, the question of the day today is, do you think the Teacher Service Commission is right to announce for vacancies of up to 5,000 teachers for public, secondary and primary schools, despite the fact that we have so much uncertainty when it comes to the education calendar and also payment of teachers across the country? Vincent Mulinge, asante sana for the compliment. I really appreciate. And you're saying, I think TSC is preparing to fill the gap of teachers deficit in the country. Vincent from Thika, asante sana for tuning in. Sarah Mambo, TSC is right in announcing the vacancies because it's a process. It's not like the teachers will start working tomorrow. They're just planning ahead. The recruitment process may even take 3 to 4 months. She's here. Asante sana for tuning in today. Happy new month. Glory to God. All right, you didn't give me your name, but asante sana for reaching out and for tuning in today. Alafu, I have Paris from Kabete. I am waiting for your response, Pia. Alafu, this one. This is Beatrice Atieno Onyango. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, today we are answering the question, or rather asking the question, do you think it's right for TSC to announce vacancies of up to 5,000 teachers, despite the fact that we have so much uncertainty about the education calendar and even the payment of teachers in public and private schools? Send in your responses. Well, the Interfaith Council from Northern East Region has cast out over the daily COVID-19 statistics. The council is now urging the government to be more sincere about this matter. And they were speaking in Eldoret, where the religious leaders claimed there is mischief in the sudden decline of these cases, and they called the government to fast-track the reopening of our country.
The national government to be very sincere in what they are telling us. At times they tell us so much have recovered from those who are positive, but we are not getting clearly the detection. People are suffering, but the well-to-do are eating from corona funds. I think we want the government to come clean on those things.
Nauliza ya kwamba serikali waseme ukweli, kwa sababu tuliona juzi hata wakati wa mambo ya pesa ambazo zimefuchwa, tukaona ya kwamba serikali mnaanza kuweka chini namba ya watu ambayo wameshikwa na hii ugonjwa ya corona. Sisi kama watu ya kidini tunataswishi.
And that actually is from the North Rift region and not the Northeast region, North Rift region that is. And that is what the Interfaith Council had to say about the cases of COVID-19 in our country. Now, the Central Organization of Trade Union, that is COTU Secretary General Francis Atwoli, has hit out on the Kenya Airways board over plans to retrench a significant number of employees. Atwoli, who spoke in Nairobi earlier today, also said that the airline's inability to adapt to change in times was the reason as to why they have been recording a downward spiral, and urged the Transport Secretary General, that is James Macharia, to effect changes on the company's management, key among them the sacking of its board chair, that is Mr. Michael Joseph.
2 days ago, I was in Nairobi, but pilots with my Assistant Secretary General Ernest Nadome had a press conference at Solidarity Building demanding for some changes at our national carrier, that is Kenya Airways. Kenya has so many modern managers, young people with talent to steer our airline ahead. We cannot sit back and see Rwandese coming up, Tanzanians are coming up with their airlines, Ugandans are coming up with their airlines. In fact, Ethiopians are buying more aircrafts, and then we are saying, oh, we can't do this and that. That is a defeatist way, that is a corrupt way of doing things, and we will not sit down and let that happen. I saw Kenya Airways when it was East African Airways Corporation. I saw it when it was Kenya Airways Corporation. I've seen it before it went completely as a private entity. I saw it myself. It is purely mismanagement.
All right, remember yesterday we also carried the story of Kenya Airways, and we talked to an advocate, and he explained to us the rights of an employee and where you need to seek help just in case your rights are infringed. In other news, residents of Turkana County have been displaced due to the increase in the water levels at Lake Turkana. Now, families are now forced to move to safer places, and also those living along the edges of Lake Turkana have been forced to move to different areas, and now these families and also business persons in this area are counting losses.
Wakati bahari ilianza kufuma, imeturudisha chini sana kwa upande wa kufua. Pia manyumba kama hizi siko na certificate ndani ya watu wafanya kazi, wafanya biashara. Sasa tumeshindwa vile tutafanya. Na hii bahari bado inatusongesha. Hatujui wakati gani tutasimama.
Tunafanya kazi hapa kwa bahari, lakini kwa sababu hii maji Kenya imezuru kila mtu kwa hii bahari, hakuna kazi ya maana ambayo inazidi kuendelea kwa sasa hii. Kila kitu hapa imeharibika kwa hii bahari. Kama saa hii tunabeba watu moja moja na tunatembea karibu kilomita 10. Lakini hakuna mapato ile ambayo inaanza kutusaidia.
Hapa tunakaa katikati ya maji. Hatukai saa hii nje, tunakaa katikati ya maji, tumefanana na samaki. Kama vile samaki anakaa kwa maji, ndio vile sisi tunakaa. Kwa hivyo tunaomba mtusaidie kama mna nguvu na mna macho na mna uwezo wa kutusaidia.
Well, let us continue praying for the people of Turkana as they're experiencing these tough times in their lives. Also, be grateful for what you have. If you have a cozy home and you're not experiencing what they are, just be grateful to the Lord. Remember that you can always watch our shows on the go. All your favorite shows, starting from early morning all the way to evening, on the go. That is through the Family Media application that is found on Google Play Store and also through the App Store. You can always type in the name Family Media app and you will get to watch these shows without any disturbance. Anyway, a group of MCAs in Kisii County have come out to defend one of their own, that is the health PS Susan Mochache, who is being mentioned in the KEMSA scandal. The leaders say it's unfair to conclude that Mochache is guilty even before investigation agencies have finalized the probe.
Nataka kuwauliza hiyo pesa iko account gani? Kama Susan Mochache ameiba pesa watuambie.
There are very many several the hierarchy of KEMSA. There are very many people down here. As pertains expenditure, who are supposed first to be accountable before it touches Susan Muchachi.
According to the MCAs, Muchachi has done an amazing job as a PS of health, and therefore branding her as corrupt based on mere allegations is not only wrong but also malicious.
We are reading mischief, and this could be a way of bundling some people out of office, more especially Mutai Kawe and Muchache, to pave way for people they want.
Kenya has been recognized doing very well in the COVID-19 issues. And through Susan Muchache, she is the one who made our country to be recognized.
Right, remember that investigations on the KEMSA scandal are still ongoing. For that matter, let's just wait and see what the government will do about that. Now, Timon Rateng from Kisumu, you're really blessed by that song Beautiful, Beautiful by Francesca Battistelli. Asante sana for tuning in. I hope that TSC is just doing their portion to avoid future inconveniences because there is life after corona. Airo Steve from Kisumu. Airo. Unaitwa Airo, like Modix Airo. Anyway, thank you so much, Steve from Kisumu, for tuning in today. And then, hi, Sarah. It's Sarah. Sarah from Joro. Asante sana. I think it's okay for TSC to advertise vacancies, even with so much uncertainty. The COVID-19 situation is somehow manageable. Most teachers now have a reason to smile, and anyway, it doesn't hurt being optimistic. Better days are yet to come. I love your optimism. Thank you so much for tuning in. Paris from Kabete. Those directives are not clear. We are in a confusion state. They should give a clear guidelines on where education is heading. If we were to open today, I wonder how many schools would be ready to accommodate learners back. They should have a roll call fast. Kids are displaced all over. Some teachers have changed careers. Wow. Asante sana for that point, Paris from Kabete. And Wairimu, thank you so much for tuning in. And then also someone has texted me on the SMS line and told me, now watch. I'm watching. I thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate. Now to other news, servicemen from over 20 countries have resumed their counter-improvised explosive device capability training at the Humanitarian Peace Support School. And with the treat of IED increasing, especially in Somalia, the training will go a long way in dealing with unsophisticated methods used by Al-Shabaab terrorism groups.
The troops, the men and women, are equipped when they go to the front line, that they know how to find an IED, they know how to isolate it so it causes minimum disruption, and then they know how to disarm it. And with over 689 IEDs being laid by Al-Shabaab in 2019 alone, that's a lot of potential casualties.
The instructors here at HPSS have also been able to train border security, police unit, aviation security personnel, and also anti-terrorism police in Nairobi have also been trained here. We had several courses which were cancelled. Initially, we were scheduled to run almost about 79 courses, and they were cancelled. We had only run about 13 up to March.
You have to be alert all the time. That one misstep could trigger a tripwire, could do something that kills you and possibly some of your teammates as well. So I think it's easy to underestimate the psychological stamina of the men and women who are going through the counter-IED training. It's incredibly impressive.
All right, the World Health Organization has urged governments to engage with people demonstrating against COVID-19 restrictions and listen to their concern, but stressed that protesters need to understand that the virus was dangerous and is still dangerous. Asked about recent demonstrations in a number of countries about coronavirus, WHO Director General Tedros Ghebreyesus said it's important to listen to what people were asking.
We should listen to what people are asking, what people are saying. We should engage into an honest dialogue. And at the same time, though, to those who have demonstrated the past week, what I would like to say is the virus is real. It's dangerous. It moves fast. And it kills. When the elderly is dying, it's not fine. It's a moral bankruptcy. You know, we should not be morally dead. Every life, whether it's young or old, is precious.
All right, it's important to listen to what the people are saying, but remember that the virus is dangerous and it's spreading. That is what the WHO leader had to say about that. Well, send in your responses. I'm still waiting to hear from you. Do you think it's right for the TSC to advertise for vacancies for teachers, up to 5,000 vacancies, especially during this time that we have so much uncertainty when it comes to the education calendar and also the payment of teachers? Send in your responses. Now let's head over to South Sudan. Now, Sudan government and the main rebel alliance agreed on a peace deal yesterday to end the 17 years of conflict. The Sudan Revolution Front, that is SRF, a coalition of rebel groups from the western region of Darfur and the southern state of South Kordofan, and also the Blue Nile, signed the peace agreement in a ceremony in Juba, capital of the neighboring South Sudan, which has hosted and helped mediate the long-running talks since 2019. The final agreement covers key issues around security, land ownership, transmission justice, power sharing, and the return of people who fled from their homes because of the war. It also provides for the dismantling of the rebel forces and the integration of their fighters into the national army. The deal is a significant step in the transition leadership goals of resolving multiple, deeply rooted civil conflicts.
We're glad that we managed to achieve a milestone regarding achieving peace in Sudan. We know there are other factions that are yet to sign, and we hope there will be another round to negotiate with these groups. Peace is the most important thing we have for the transitional period, and without it, all the talks about democratic transition, economic development is not possible. So we see this as the first step to Sudan's transition.
We affirm the commitment of South Sudan and Sudan's journey to peace, because Sudan peace is South Sudan's peace. There are still 2 more groups that are yet to sign a deal, and we will continue on the issue of peace until there is a comprehensive peace in Sudan. We don't want any more war in Darfur.
Well, this is a peace deal for people of Sudan. Now, contrary to that, imagine being in a protest where everybody is carrying a gun. That's scary. Now, a group of protesters marched to the United States capital, Washington, D.C., to rally against police brutality and in favor of equality. But the difference in Sunday's rally was that most of the protesters were armed with self- and semi-automatic weapons.
You gotta fire back if somebody's firing at you. Do you want to die? I don't want to die.
John Sullivan is one of the organizers of today's rally. He's with the Black Fist Coalition and Insurgents USA, 2 groups in support of Black Lives Matter that don't typically protest with guns.
I bought this bulletproof vest. I bought this this gun. And I spent $1,000 on these armored plates. Like, you think I want to do that? That's the question. No, I don't. But I did it in self-defense of myself.
Today, 30 to 40 people marched from Washington Square to the Capitol, dressed in tactical gear and armed with semi-automatic weapons. They're exercising their Second Amendment rights and say they were prepared to defend themselves if needed from militia groups who sometimes show up at their protests.
I want to make sure I keep myself safe when I'm going out here protesting, and also say, hey, I can express myself the same way that you can. I can speak your language. I can carry guns as well.
Some militia members did show up.
Any opportunity that we have to exercise our Second Amendment right, we will seize it.
But in a twist, they're on the same side today.
I just want to simply show that we can stand in unity with each other regardless of our views.
Tyson Holyoke is with the Utah Constitutional Militia. He says while the groups represented this afternoon may have differing opinions, everyone should have a right to free speech and the right to bear arms. And while many would argue that more people carrying guns around downtown Salt Lake is escalating tensions, both sides today said they weren't looking for a fight.
I would rather have peace over confrontation. I don't want to see anybody die or get hurt.
Well, indeed, it's escalating tension when you have and you see people around you carrying weapons. Very scary. Anyway, with this COVID-19, there are so many myths that comes with it. Yes, and trust me, these are some of the things that we should be avoiding. So listen into this.
Herbal and homemade remedies.
We've seen a wide range of natural or herbal remedies shared online across many parts of the world. Some suggest eating garlic or ginger, gargling with salt water and vinegar, or drinking herbal teas. Others encourage drinking lemon juice or inhaling steam. To be clear, there's absolutely no evidence any of these have any effect on the virus. So why do they keep resurfacing? For hundreds, perhaps even thousands of years, in the absence of modern medicine, these remedies have been used to treat the symptoms of common ailments like the common cold and flu. It's true that a diet including fresh fruits and vegetables is generally good for you, but there's no evidence consuming herbal remedies can fight off or boost your natural immunity to COVID-19. Cow byproducts. Some suggested treatments have their roots in religious ritual and farming. Cow manure has been widely used as a fertilizer in agriculture for centuries. Now, cow urine is being promoted to fight the coronavirus. In Kenya, it's been recommended as an alternative hand sanitizer to kill the virus. That won't work, so stick to soap and water. In India, where cows are considered sacred in Hinduism, their urine and byproducts have been used in Ayurvedic traditional medicine since ancient times. Religious groups and some politicians there claim that cow urine can protect you from the coronavirus despite it containing potentially harmful bacteria. Cow urine drinking parties were hosted in at least 2 states, and there were reports of a man being hospitalized after taking part. But there's no current scientific evidence that cow byproducts have any effect against COVID-19. Drinking cow urine or using it to sanitize your hands is not going to protect you. The miracle cure. The desire for there to be a cure out there right now to COVID-19 is a powerful one. So it's perhaps not surprising that something touted as a miracle cure has gained widespread attention online in many parts of the world. The Miracle Mineral Solution, or MMS, does not, as its promoters claim, have any effect on the virus. In fact, it contains a textile bleaching agent, chlorine dioxide, which is extremely harmful if consumed and could land you in hospital. It's been around since 2010 as a fake cure for a wide range of ailments. Both the US Food and Drug Administration and the World Health Organization have issued warnings against its use. So as tempting as it is to believe these alternative medicines work against the coronavirus, do not fall for false hopes that could well be harmful. The search goes on across the world for effective treatments, and they will come in time. But for now, the best thing you can do is to maintain social distancing and
Here are
keep
some more
washing your
myths
hands.
you should be aware of. Myth number 1. Lemon juice protects you from COVID-19. There have been plenty of claims about things you should eat or drink to thwart coronavirus, and the lemon juice myth just won't go away. It started with a viral social media post containing advice from a fake Chinese scientist. To be clear, lemon juice is obviously not bad for you. In fact, all fruit and vegetables are essential, while nearly all of us have to stay at home. They can help keep you healthy, but they don't stop you getting a virus like this. Myth number 2. Mosquito bites can infect you with the virus. We all know you can get other diseases from mosquito bites, but there's no evidence at all that the little brutes can infect you with coronavirus. Again, remember, this is a respiratory virus spread mainly when someone who is ill coughs or sneezes. And the best way to protect yourself is to avoid close contact with anyone who is sick and keep washing your hands. Myth number 3. Blood donations will get you a free test. Some people are hoping they might get a free coronavirus test if they donate blood. That's absolutely not the case, but there's been a persistent false belief on social media that it might be. To be clear, you don't get tested for COVID-19 if you give blood, and the last thing staff who run blood banks want is sick people coming in. Nor, of course, can you get the virus from a blood donation. So the best advice for now, try to stay healthy.
All right, there we have it. Some of the myths that we have online in the social media. We hear from our relatives and even our friends that we should be avoiding. Those are some of the things to take note of. Esi Kimenyi is saying some remedies though, even without education background, bado tunazishuku. Thank you so much, AC, for tuning in. This is Irene, and Irene, you're saying thank you, Family Media, for highlighting on the myths. It has been disturbing my mind for quite some time now, especially here ya lemon juice. But thank you for clarifying that. Remember, these are just myths that we should actually be on the lookout for and avoid them according to the WHO. Now, during this time since schools were closed, teenage pregnancy has been on the rise. Well, and there is one 11-year-old boy by the name Alpha Baraka. He's a schoolboy, but he decided to do what he does best. That is educate his peers about teen pregnancy, and he's doing this through poetry. Listen in.
Homa ni watoto uzazini. Ujumbe huu wangu wa watoto uzazini ningependa ufikie watu wengi ili waache kutumia masaa yao vibaya na wajiepushe na mabaya.
Lakini pia ningetaka kuambia wazazi ni jukumu letu hata wakati huu ambapo watoto wako nyumbani kuhakikisha tunaelewa yale ambayo yanaendelea, ni nani anatembea kwa nyumba zetu, ni wapi watoto wetu wanaenda wakati hatuko, kwa sababu tunaweza kuwapoteza tukiwatafutia. Tunashare kwa Facebook zetu, tunashare pia kwa WhatsApp na zimefikia watu wengi. Kuna wazazi wengi wametupigia wakatuambia watoto wao wameangalia hizo shairi.
Ningependa kuambia watoto wote wasifanye mambo mabaya na wasijiunge na vikundi vibaya na wazidi kusoma hata kama wako nyumbani na wampende Mungu.
That is actually good when we have a youngster trying to teach his fellow youngsters about the good things and how to avoid negativity. That is what we call positive influence. Well, we have come to the end of the show. Send in your prayer requests and also your praise reports, because Prayer Circle with Pastor Benjamin Waka is coming in next on Family TV and also live on Family Radio. And you can always listen into the show online or even through the Family Media app. And we'll be getting to pray together. But as we start this month, I pray for God's blessings upon your life, upon your family, and I pray for his favor to be upon you. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. My name is Sarah Otieno.
For this and more of our shows, log on to www.familymediaonline.com to enjoy a wide variety of programs, from current affairs to testimonials and features, pastoral and inspirational shows, kids entertainment, and so much more. Also stream live on www.familymedia.tv.